Good day, dear colleagues. I hope all is okay in your life. Glad to meet you again, and now I would like to present you the new information about Turonian-Coniacian boundary in the northwestern Caucasus. The purpose of this work is to determine characteristics of the Turonian-Coniacian boundary in the northwestern Caucasus. This section is located in the northwestern part of the Great North Caucasus and belongs to the Novorossiysko-Lazarevskaya tectonic zone. Red circles in this map is studied section. 22 samples from 80 meters thick section were studied by different methods. Sampling interval is 1 to 5 meters. The subject of study was the sediments of Natuhai Formation in the section of northwestern wall of the worked-out quarry north of the Shapsukskaya village. The section of Shapsuk quarry is represented by a rhythmic, substantially carbonate sequence, which is a monocline steeply dipping to the south. The exposed part is, as you give you, 80 meters. Hemipelagic sediments, mainly micritic, thin and thick-bedded limestones, clay limestones, calcareous clays, rarely thin beds of sandstone and siltstones present here. 4 main types of microfacies have been identified, different from each other in composition, color, structure, texture, paleontological characteristics. Thin layers of red limestone are marked in the Shapsuk section. A similar feature for the upper Turonian-Santonian interval was noted in Dagestan in publication of Ringarten. And later, the red limestones were described in the same interval on very wide space. See a series of publications, Mikhail Bagreev with co-authors. The sedimentological feature of these rocks were studied in thin sections also. And you have a foraminiferal limestone, mudstone, speculite foraminiferal limestone, mudstone, C. Pitonella foraminiferal limestone, packstone, and small to fine-grained sandstone, more terrigenous part of section. You can see the similarity of rhythmic structure of the two sections. This is Zalgice-Zalder section, and this is our Shapsuk quarry. Biostratigraphic results. The zonal stratigraphy of Turonian-Coniacian interval, western and eastern part of Europe, is based mainly on stratigraphic distribution of inoceramides and ammonites. But remains of macrofauna were not found in the section of Shapsuk quarry. In order to refine the age of the deposits, the identification of forams was carried out, among which planktic forams were predominant. The basis for determining the age of rocks in the zonal scheme for the Crimeo-Caucasian regions, you can see here, and its comparison with the scheme of our authors you can see in this table. 3 zones you can see in this Shapsuk section. Вилове. Margina truncana or Margina truncana pseudolineana zone. The high diversity of species Margina truncana, as well as absence of Helvetoglobotroncana helvetica, indicates what the section included the interval between samples 1 and 5. It belongs to the Margina truncana pseudolineana zone, what is the middle part of Turonian. The higher, a sharp increase in the taxonomic diversity of Margina truncana, or so-called large Margina truncanids, as this interval name in publication of Coccione Primole Silva. To the Upper Turonian in the section in central Poland, the Upper Turonian Lower Coniacian in the sections of the southwestern Crimea and northeastern Caucasus. And higher, the Corinella-Concavata zone, which interval indicates the presence of Lower Coniacian in this section, hard Lower Coniacian. But here it is only the upper part of Margina truncana coronata zone. At the same time, the presence of this morphotype with a strongly convex umbilical site in sample 18th and about allows us to compare this part of the section with the Coniacian of the Corinella-Concavata zone of Mediterranean planktonic scale. Benthic forms. Benthic forms give us the next picture. Gabalinella moniliformis indicate what the age of deposits is not older than the Middle Turonian, and the appearance from first Protestant Shayina species in sample 7 at the late Turonian age of the rocks. In the upper part of section, a zonal index Reusella-Kelleri appears in sample 16th and Protestant Shayina granulata in samples 18th confirms the early Coniacian age. The benthic forms association shows great similarity with the Eastern European platform, but more uniform. The convenience of these schemes for platform lies in the constant presence in the ceramides data. And conclusion, foraminiferal assemblages are similar to the association of central part of Tethys area, but they are less diverse, and throughout the entire Turonian-Coniacian interval, the territory was a relatively deep open sea basin. The next three file, you can see plates with forams from Shapsuk quarry. You can see planktic and benthic forams. Here is only planktic forams, and here is also planktic and benthic forams. You can see that plate from Shapsuk quarry and assemblage of forams very similar. These forams from GSSP section. Many index species with spiral convex side of planktic forams are from Rosario sections inside red frame. So, foraminiferal assemblage show close to association with Shapsug quarry with central part of Tethys area, and however, there are difficulties in defining the Turonian-Coniacian boundary. The best planting forums for this boundary marker is Dicorinella concavata. However, in the Shapsug section, this species is represented by single specimens and appears only in the upper part of its section, much higher than it can be drawn for the benthic. This event does not recognize exactly, and in Zalgitzer-Zalder section, you can see this in section from this publication. Now about isotope analysis. Isotope stratigraphy based on the curve of delta 13th uglерод change throughout the late Cretaceous is well developed. This isotopic data and curve of inside Cretaceous deposit of the Shapsug quarry is significantly similar to the change in carbon isotopic values in the GSSP section. The excursions of these values are good marker, can be traced over significant distance, which allows reliable stratigraphic correlation. You can see all these events. You say Hitchwood event, navigation event, and light point event in Shapsug quarry. And it is very good correlation with data about section of publication Palashik alter in 2010 years. Thus, based on the analysis of change in the isotopic composition of this isotopic data and the fluctuation of isotopic curve, it was possible to detail the stratigraphic subdivision of the Turonian-Coniacian deposits of the section and position this boundary in the roof of the navigation event. Conclusion. The section of Shapsug quarry showed a great similarity with GSSP section Salzgitter-Zalder, and was clear they are in the same paleobiogeographic area. The foraminiferal assemblage show close the association of central part of Tethys area. However, there are difficulties in defining the Turonian-Coniacian boundary. The best planting forums for marker Turonian-Coniacian boundary is Dicorinella concavata. Однако, in Shapsug section, it is represented by single specimens and appears only in the upper part of the sections. So this event does not recognize and at the classical section. Only in auxiliary section it is possible very exactly. Isotopic data are very important because this position of navigation event maybe give us the position of the Turonian-Coniacian boundary. And the boundary between Middle and Upper Turonian is also defined. Based on the continuity of the section, its accessibility, similarity of lithology and composition of microfossils with GSSP section, it can be proposed as a possible hypostratotype on the lower boundary of Coniacian for the territory of Russian federations, in accordance with our stratigraphic code. It is also important that the location of section is convenient for access to it, where is well-developed infrastructure nearby. The decision of this issue seems to be very actual for regional Upper Cretaceous stratigraphy in Russia. However, before proceeding to this procedure, remains of inoceramides and ammonites must be found in this section. Without this, such an offer is not valid. This is quite possible when it is studied in detail for this purpose. Thank you very much for your attention, dear colleagues.